This is Richard Fowler. I'm John Kilpatrick with Oklahoma Aikido, Louisville, Kentucky, USA. And today I want to look at leading with Nikkyo. And I'm calling this Nikkyo. We're not bothering with getting the wrist lock, and that's not because I have anything against it. I think, breaking wrist is wonderful and all. To me, it's not a good way. I don't like training that way a lot, because after a lifetime of doing it, all your joints are destroyed and everything hurts, and you get old and everything aches and has arthritis and all. And it's just not a desirable way to end up. But also, what you see an awful lot, and with Nikkyo, and I talked about this last time, we talked about the structure break with Nikkyo, but you end up just practicing this way, where you're just practicing learning to inflict pain in the wrist. And so everything is oriented around pain compliance, or at least all those wrist locks and elbow locks and shoulder, all that stuff is oriented around pain. Not so much with the breath power techniques. What we want to talk about today is leading with Nikkyo. And I want to talk about a concept here that I don't think we've talked, maybe we've mentioned it, but we haven't dealt with it so much. And that is Kazushi, in the sense that I learned it when I did Judo. And it's something, again, that's not talked about much in a Aikido class, but it's huge. It was huge in the Judo classes that I took. And that is that if I want to throw somebody, so let's say we're going to do Nikkyo as a throw, that a lot of times, say that he reaches for me, people will stop him here, and they're going to get this wrist lock. Or something that's better, I think, is he reaches for you, and you come here, and you stop it, and then you go back to try to get the wrist lock. Well, to me, to be efficient, you want to get the throw immediately. I guess their idea is they're going to stop and break your wrist first and then do something with you. I don't know. But certainly in training, to have people throwing on wrist locks and stuff like that is really, for me, I'm built cheap, I'm fragile, I have fragile joints and all, and it's very destructive. I know there are people that are built really well and they don't break up. But most of the older people I know that were trained with me all our lives, all of us are all broken up. So, so I'm certainly not the only one. So the idea then, instead of, if somebody reaches for, and then the reason I'm doing it from this lapel grab is because that's the way people usually start teaching Nikkyo. So the first part of this is that when he reaches for my lapel, and we'll build this up, but when he reaches for the lapel, I move with him. And this is pretty common, and that's a very common thing for people to do, in regular Aikido classes. So as he reaches, they move back, and this hand comes out here or something. So let's do it from the other side. So what I'm doing, as he reaches, I'm moving my body in harmony with the movement of his hand. And I'm not, of course with this, he's reaching for my lapel, so I can't just jerk my hand away. If he reaches for my wrist, people tend to do this. Well, that won't lead them. But if he's reaching for his shoulder, I almost have to do this fairly well because I've got to pivot my body. Now, what I don't want to do is break it up then by trying to break his wrist. Not for not for leading. So, and like I say, usually when I talk about leading, what I'm talking about is misdirecting the guy. So if I were trying to do this in the sense that I normally talk about it, when he reached for me, you know, I would do like this, so that now he's going for my hand instead of for my lapel. But for this kind of thing, I'm trying to catch his wrist, and I can misdirect it some, but I can't do what I want to do if I do that. So what we're going to do is try to keep a constant movement of his body. And I think this is better from this side. So when he reaches, I want to keep this constant movement. So I'm going back and then taking him straight down. And where the Nikkyo part of this comes in is that I'm catching, as he reaches for me, I catch this, I'm pivoting, and I'm turning this like I was doing the wrist lock, but I'm not going to try to apply it. I'm just turning here and catching this, and then taking it straight to the floor. And so that gives me a very quick throw. Now I'm doing this against a lapel grab. I'm not convinced that I'm pretty convinced I couldn't do it. I'm pretty convinced, and if Richard was punching at me, he's got really good punches and they don't stay there. I don't think I could ever catch one of his punches to do a Nikkyo. So if I were going to do something similar to this with Richard, I'd want to do something like a kite nagi or something, where he punches and I'm just taking it down, and it's very, very fast. I don't think I could do the Nikkyo. So if I'm doing this, what I'm going to do is very slowly, but when he reaches, see, I'm pivoting here and then coming back and taking this down. My arm is above his arm. I've twisted his wrist close to a Nikkyo, but I'm not really trying to get that wrist lock. And a lot of times when people teach Nikkyo, they try to reach over here to get it. I find that hard to do, and I'm not the only one. I see a lot of Aikido instructors, or maybe not a lot, but I see Aikido instructors that do it like I'm doing it, where they're catching here and taking it. So then if we do that throw from this side, so if he backs up a little more, and so he reaches in for that, see, and there's the throw. And if we do it from the other side, so we do it from over here slowly, so he reaches, I'm pivoting, and so the hand is coming, I let it keep coming and take it to the floor. So then, if he comes, and so a tendency that I know I have, and I think other people probably do too, is to get this and try to drag him and throw him. But this is your front structure break. So in this, I'm taking this hand, I'm taking it straight down, and then normally you take it out to get the throw. But this time, with the Nikkyo, and we talked about this in the structure break last time, but I'm taking this out and going down and pressing his elbow down to get the throw. So it's, it's your standard Nikkyo type movement.